fact, I know a lot of businesses, because they have measured well, they've been able to change their business model quick enough to survive and do well. But there's a lot of other businesses that don't measure and don't think of these things, and they don't really adapt to the marketplace so that they can survive. This is our registered user growth in Korea. We're about to hit 1 million users in Korea, so this is a little bit old. So we're very happy with our growth here in Korea. One thing that we measure is active users, because with any application, a lot of people download it, right? But how many people actually use it day in and day out? And one thing that we've noticed in Asia is our active users are much higher in Asia than in other countries like the US, Australia, Europe. And we think that, well, we really don't know the answer as to why, but we just think that Evernote hits a chord. It fits with the culture of people in Asia. So we're very happy with the amount of active users that we have. Last year, at the end of the year, Inc. put out their Company of the Year issue, and we were lucky enough to be on the magazine. I guess that's the moment where you kind of say, yeah, we've arrived. You know, we did it. You know, we kind of became legitimate. We're a real company now, I guess. So that was really cool stage. And as I said, we're currently adding around 65,000 users every day. But part of this forum is not to kind of talk about like what we've done, but how did we do it, right? How did we do this? And how do you do this as a young entrepreneur starting a company? How does this all work? You guys have heard of Instagram, right? Yeah, that's a good example. I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Just so you know, our users are distributed like this around the world. Japan is very big. They love us in Japan for some reason. And we're noticing similar growth in China, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So we think that all of those countries are going to start growing just like Japan did, because we entered Japan very early and really tried to make that growth happen quick, and it worked. So now we're trying to make that happen in other countries throughout Asia. So these are where we're located throughout the world. We're starting to open up offices in many different locations, and the reason that we do that is so that we have certain people in key countries to help with marketing, events, and other things that we do, like business development and things of that nature in different countries. So we're going to be opening up an office in Seoul this summer, which we're excited about, because I get to come here more, so that'll be neat. Okay, I'll share a few stats with you. A lot of companies don't share statistics, right? How many people in here are doing some sort of a business where you need people to use a free product, like a freemium model? They use a free product, and then you need them to convert, right? You need them, we call that conversion rate. So at what rate do they convert? So how many people are doing freemium ideas over here? Okay, we got a few. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit, because we do the same thing. We do a freemium model, and if you look at our active users, we notice something interesting, that the first month that someone signs up, there's like no way they're going to pay us. They're just checking it out, right? They want to see what this thing is all about. But then we notice at about 1 year, about 8% of people that are actively using the product are willing to pay, which is great. That's a pretty good conversion rate. But then we kept tracking this metric over time, and we noticed that the more people use our product, it seems like they become more committed to the product. And our thought on that is that if you have an Evernote account with 10 notes in it, it's not that valuable. But if you have an Evernote account with 2,000 notes in it, it's very valuable to you personally, right? So our product seems to become more valuable over time as people use it for their personal things. So that's a key thing to know as a business if you want to know what really drives your business. So how do we make all this happen? What makes this kind of success as an application possible? I said I was going to speak through Konglish. I haven't said one Korean word. I apologize. So how do we make this happen? I came up with some ideas that might help some of you that may be doing a freemium model. But here's a few of my ideas. The first one, and I think that in a way, Instagram kind of proved me wrong on this. Because Instagram, what did they do? They went to iOS first, right? And then they just recently, right before they got bought or acquired by Facebook, they went to Android. So what we've done at Evernote is a drastically kind of different strategy. When the iPad first came out, we asked our CEO, Phil Libin, if we would support it. Is this something we're going to support? And think about, I mean, now you think about that, that's like, well, of course you would, right? But back then, that was like a big decision. Because back then, tablets had always failed. I see like so many people out there with tablets right now. But tablets have been tried many, many times over the years, and they all have failed. So we thought, are we going to support the iPad? Is this just another tablet that's going to fail? And Phil made the decision that we were going to not only support the iPad, but that we were going to support every platform that people were using. If people were using it, we wanted to have a native Evernote client on it. And that's made a big difference for us. Because think about this. We're in the iTunes store, we're in the Google App Store, we're in many different app stores from different carriers around the world. We're in the BlackBerry App Store. So you name the device, and there's an Evernote client for it. So this does two things. Number one, it puts you everywhere. So whatever device you have, you can find Evernote. But number two, what it does is it puts us in a situation where we're doing updates all the time, because we might update the BlackBerry client this week, and next week we might update the web client, and then the next week we might update something else. So when we're supporting right now 14 different platforms, so we're always in the news with updates with the tech media. So that's something that's very helpful. These are a few examples of what we're on. So as I said, we're on mobile, we're on desktop, we're on the web. So if you're not on your computer, you can access it on the web. So the point is, we want it to be accessible on most any device that you use. Now the second key thing, and this gets kind of to the freemium model, and this is something that we're still learning ourselves, but our CEO says quite often to us that if too many people pay us, then we've failed. And at first you're like, well, what are you talking about? If a bunch of people pay us, we've succeeded, We want the more people to pay us. But his comment is interesting when you understand what he's saying. So if too many people pay us, that means that our free product is not really that good, right? And if your free product is really not that good, who's going to be telling their friends about it? No one. How many apps do you use that you use but you don't talk to your friends about them? I think that for me that's like the majority, the most of the apps that I use, I don't talk to my friends about them. But there's a few apps that they're good enough that I will actually tell my friend, hey, you better get this. This is a great app. So what we decided to do is to focus on building a great free product and realize that only a very small percentage of people are going to pay us. But that if we build a good enough free product, we can get millions upon millions of people to use it and talk about it. And that's how you keep that growth going. Because if that growth stops, our business model is not that strong. So that's a key point with the freemium model, and something that we have tried to focus on ourselves. How are we doing? I wanted to leave some time for questions, so I only have about 8 minutes or so. Yeah, okay. So let me get through I want to leave time for a few questions, so be thinking about some questions, because it's much better when you guys ask questions. So we obviously have a product of, or a family of products now. We have food, clearly is a way to clip information from your browser. Skitch is a product that we acquired last year and integrated more fully into Evernote. And you'll be seeing more of those types of acquisitions going forward from us. And then Hello and Peak are also products that we created. Oh. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about is focusing on integrations, and then we'll get to your questions. And what I mean by focusing on integrations is we have an open API, and we wanted to turn into a platform that other people could develop on top of. So if you look at the HTC Flyer tablet, that's built on Evernote, on our API. If you get a Fujitsu ScanSnap scanner, that's built with a direct connection to Evernote. So right now, we have over 10,000 people that are developing on our API right now, and that's growing every day. And we have a number of applications. We highlight 300 that we highlight in something we call our trunk on our website. But you can see we've got a lot of companies that have integrated their applications and devices with Evernote, and that helps spread the word and gets people to sign up for the application. So I will leave it at that because I want to get to a few of your questions. That's enough of me talking. So 질문 있어요?
네, 질문 있으신 분들 손 들고 한국말로 질문해 주셔도 되고요. 네, 통역을 해주시겠습니다. 예.
아까 그 첫 사진 중에서 되게 돈이 안 보여서 힘든 시간이 있다라고 하셨는데